Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Betting Podcast alongside my co-host, Stern Bets. I am Prince of Picks. We have got an excellent show lined up for you today. We are going to be covering the first leg of the Champions League round of 16. The champions. We are super excited to get into this slate of games here. We got an awesome, mouth-watering 8 games here that we're going to be covering. 4 of them taking place on Tuesday, and the other 4 taking place on Wednesday. So we are getting down here towards the stretch run of the Champions League, where you're getting a lot of the heavy hitters, some of the big boys, if you will, starting to match up against each other here. And we've got a lot of really exciting, fascinating matchups, in my opinion, here. I think we are in for a very entertaining round of 16 in the Champions League. So excited to get into. Before we do that, real quick, guys, if you can do us a favor, head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us a real quick rate, review, and subscribe to the show. It would do us a great deal of help here in terms of getting this show out to more listeners. With that being said, let me go ahead and pass it over to my co-host, Mr. Stern Betts, Mr. Mosh. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm good. I missed you this morning. Hope your weekend was good. I'm very excited to get into these games. But just to remind me and our listeners, this is the round of 16, right? We just saw in the last round, the knockout stage, a bunch of people go down and teams are advancing. Now those teams are advancing are facing the top tier of the Champions League who got a bye in this the past round, right?
That's exactly right. So now, if you want to, a way to put it is we're entering the cream of the crop here, if you will. As this is, to your point here, the top 8 teams have been waiting patiently for the other round to finish up. Now that it's has since finished, and so we are featuring a lot more of the top teams in Europe here, and we got a lot of stories here, storylines in a lot of these matches as well. And so some of these teams that played in the other earlier round are traditionally one of your top, teams in Europe. So just because they didn't get the first round bye doesn't necessarily mean that they're any less of a team than the top 8. So I really do think this could be one of the more entertaining round of 16s.
I'm really excited looking through these. There's a lot of good competitive matches. I will say there's one that may not be as competitive, but the rest of them are looking really good.
Teaser. Yes. Yeah, I'm right with you there, brother.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about before we go straight into the games?
No, just a quick recap for those of you maybe this is your first time listening to us. First of all, welcome in. We appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you'll stick along with us along the journey here as we are trying to build this from scratch here. But in any case, here we're in the a stage of the Champions League where we are still in an aggregate home and away legs here. So you will see a home and away with these matches. So the first game, of course, is going to be home, and then they'll travel next week to the opponent's home field. You get an aggregate score line, which is basically a combined score between the 2 matches. Then whoever has more goals, obviously, advances. If the match is tied, after the 2 matches, then you will play basically extended time to decide a winner. If it goes to penalties, it goes to penalties. So basically, you will require a winner by the second leg. That's kind of where we're at right now. But tonight we're covering the first leg.
Yes, and just so that you're aware when you're betting these tickets, sometimes when the sports books put the home and away team in American sports, they always put the home team second. In European sports, they put the home team first. And some books have it one way, and some books have it the other way. So I'm going to go right off the bat here and ask you, where is this Liverpool Galatasaray game going off at 1:45 p.m. Eastern taking place?
Yeah, so this one's going to be at Galatasaray here in Turkey.
Fantastic. My notes are correct.
Yeah, you got that one right.
So this is one of the more imposing home field advantages, right? We've talked about it a lot. This Turkey team is no joke.
Yeah, I've mentioned it many times before, and I'll say it again. I firmly believe Galatasaray is one of the top 5 home field environments in all of club football, not just in Europe, but across the world. And you're talking about other, great venues as well. There's some in South America that could probably rival this. But Galatasaray, they say welcome to hell for a reason. It's a place where big teams typically go to die, and they struggle a lot whenever going to Galatasaray. It's just something about that environment. The crowd just seems to smother the opposing team. You just feel it through the television when you're watching matches from Galatasaray when they're at home. And so it is an absolute cauldron for them. They are excellent at home. There's actually it's they're quite a big split from their home and away. Actually, especially in European competition. So, just to our point here, we just saw them. They were up 5-2 against Juventus at home, and they almost blew it on the road. So, to that point, they do seem to be a little bit one way or the other when it comes to home and away. But yeah, Galatasaray tough to beat at home here, and I'll just go ahead and just segue into my first play here. For this match here, I actually I'm gonna land on a BTTS no draw. You're going to get this at plus 100, and my reasoning for that is as follows here. I believe that Galatasaray, they are going to need to win this one at home. So I think if we see a draw or a tie score here late in the match, I actually expect Galatasaray to really push for the win. I don't think they're going to want to go on have to get a victory at Anfield. They're not going to want to play extended time at Anfield in case the match ends up in a tie aggregate score. Then you got to play extra time, and that's just the more you have to play there, the less likely I like Galatasaray's chances here. So I think Galatasaray, if they want to have any realistic shot, I think they know this as well. You got to win at home. You got to pick up the W at home here. You got to go at Anfield with a aggregate lead. And so I think with that in mind here, I don't think you're going to see a complacent Galatasaray side, settling for a draw here. I think it's win or nothing for them. And so if I think the score is tied, I think Galatasaray pushes, and either they score and they win it, or they concede and they might lose it. But again, that's my angle here. I don't think a draw does them any good. So I like the value getting BTTS no draw. We're gonna get that plus 100.
Yeah, I like that. By the way, what's just for my, I guess, curiosity, why wouldn't you play the BTTS in over 2.5 goals? What's the difference? Is the juice much better?
The juice is much better. BTTS and over 2.5. I the last I checked was out by minus 145 is the last I saw, minus 150. And of course you could go for that. I know a lot of people are on that. I've seen a lot of the cappers. In any case, we're gonna see goals in this one. That you can be almost certain of. Although their last matchup did end just in a 1-0 win for Galatasaray. They actually played each other earlier. Same exact matchup was in Galatasaray, and they won 1-0. So it was a lower scoring game unexpectedly, but I do think both of these sides here are likely to score at any point, likely to concede at any point. So goals is always going to be a good angle here, but I like the value here with the circumstances. Again, my opinion is going to be that Galatasaray is not going to want to settle for a draw, and so if we see both teams to score, I think you're going to see a winner. And so I guess another way you could play that, I didn't check the value of this, but maybe BTTS and a double chance for either one of the sides to win might be another way to play this. But for me, I just felt comfortable with the both teams score no draw plus 100.
That's funny that you mentioned that. Galatasaray double chance with either score or BTTS was one of the looks that I was looking at. But I think I came to a different conclusion, which is always fun starting out a show on the opposite side of you. Although it's not necessarily. There were two pieces of information that I was reading that really kind of influenced my decision here. The first is that Liverpool's starting keeper is out, which is going to be tough. But it also leads me to believe that they might just park the bus and not try to push it while they're on the road here in an intense road environment. And the other one is that Galatasaray has 7 crucial players that are 1 yellow card away from being suspended from the next match. So I like the first half under 1.5 goals at minus 145 over at Caesars. I think that there was value in coming out, and I honestly getting 2 goals in the first half of any of these matches is a tall task. But I didn't want to test that second half theory because you're right, they do tend to push it as the game gets draws closer to the end.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look, that play would go in line with their previous matchup, which I said, ended 1-0. So there's definitely something to support that there. So yeah, I guess it's just a matter of if you think there's going to be goals or not, and when you think it's going to happen. So I don't hate that play for sure.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to one where we almost will for sure see some kind of goals. Bayern Munich versus Atalanta. This is at Atalanta, right? And yeah, I'm just gonna give you the floor. What do you got?
Yeah, this one's at Atalanta. And look, Atalanta, they're lucky to be here, right? They got that last second penalty in order to advance to this stage. I think this is where it ends for them. Their consolation prize for advancing was getting one of the best teams in Europe, maybe the best team in Europe right now. Arsenal might have something to say about that, but Bayern Munich is just absolutely flying right now. I don't know how you can fade them against anyone at this point. Bayern, they've scored 20 goals in their last 6 matches, so this team is just scoring goals for fun. And I'm not really sure Atalanta is going to be able to really keep up with Bayern in this one. I like Bayern to win this one by margin. I'm going to take Bayern Munich here on a -1 Asian handicap spread here. You're going to get that at -105. I just think with the form that Bayern is in right now, they're just a hard team to fade. And I don't really buy into Atalanta much at all.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you. I don't think Atalanta should be here right now, and I'm definitely going to take a very similar play. Bayern Munich team total over 1.5 goals, and to get the money line at -125. I mean, it's essentially very similar, if not the same, to your bet here. But I fail to see how Atalanta is going to be able to stop Harry Kane and the Bayern Munich offense here. They're just too good. They're in the
So,
yeah. Sorry, go on.
no, go ahead, please. Go, continue.
I mean, they're just in the top tier of goal production and high scoring chances. So getting a team that's defensively shaky and kind of doesn't necessarily have it all together all the time, even at home, I think that they're going to at least score one or two, if not 3 or 4 goals.
So here's a wild stat about Harry Kane. He is averaging 1 goal per 66 minutes of play for Bayern Munich. That's more than a goal per game. A game is 90 minutes, obviously. He's averaging a goal per 66 minutes of playing time. He is just on an unbelievable epic goal scoring run right now. So of course, his numbers probably juiced, incredibly juiced for him to score a goal. But I would absolutely, we like to talk about live bet looks. I would absolutely look, maybe if you don't see a goal anytime soon, look for his live goal scoring odds, and if they become playable, he's just a machine right now.
Yeah, it's -115 over at Fanatics, -125, and then -130 or worse everywhere else. This is not
Okay, well,
it's not an attractive number.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, when you're talking about goal scorers, you want plus money. Although when you talk about Harry Kane, he might be one of the exceptions. But yeah, that's something I'm absolutely going to look at, try to look at live and see if I can get some better value on that.
Yeah, not so much foreshadowing, unfortunately, but Mbappe is in that similar category when he's on fire as well. But let's let's move on to the game that we may have shaded earlier: Barcelona versus Newcastle United. What can we expect here? I mean, we've got to see goals, right?
I do think we see goals, but I think they come from one side here. I am all over Barcelona here. I think this is going to be a statement game for Barcelona. Now, I get it. They are suffering some injuries defensively. They've been a little bit inconsistent as of late. But I think they are leaps and bounds better than Newcastle, even with the injuries that Barcelona has right now. I am fully backing Barcelona here. Something that's gone under the radar for Barcelona, right? You think of them as this great offensive juggernaut, tons of attacking options on the wings and up top. Barcelona has kept 8 clean sheets in 2026. That's not something that you associate with when you're talking about Barcelona and that high line, but they have actually shored things up defensively. And so if that becomes a staple of their game here, they're able to keep clean sheets on top of their offensive firepower that they have. I think they're going to be maybe the team to beat in all of Europe. We're looking at Newcastle here. They've allowed a goal in 13 straight matches. So I'm not really high on Newcastle. And I think this is just a really big mismatch in talent here between these two sides. And we're looking at Barcelona here. They've won 21 of the last 24 matches. So everyone likes to take jabs at Barcelona for what they're not doing, but what they are doing is winning matches. 21 of their last 24 they have won. Meanwhile, we're looking at Newcastle winless in 3 of their last 5. And so I love Barcelona here. I'm not just going to take them on the money line. I'm going to take them with a -1 handicap spread here. You're going to get that at +229. I am typically a more conservative bettor, so when I give something like this, I don't take it lightly. But I really think Barcelona is going to win this one by margin. I just think this is just a really a statement game for them. I really think this is a statement game for them, and I think they're going to put it on Newcastle in this one and get this aggregate scoreline done and dusted here early.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Barcelona, I think, definitely scores at least one or two. They're one of the more higher octane offenses in the league. But when I look at it, I think both teams are overperforming their expected metrics here. I think Barcelona has been fairly lucky in the most part. They don't have a clean sheet necessarily in the Champions League play so far. And I get that Newcastle has had a miserable season, but this is the last thing that they really have to play for here. I like them to get at least one goal. So I took BTTS and over 2.5 goals at a insanely juiced -150 over on MGM.
So yeah, that's great. That's a great play. Full disclosure, I would tell you, okay, you could honestly play BTTS at over 2.5 for pretty much every game on this entire slate, right? I just think there's a great chance to see a lot of goals in a lot of these matches. That was something I was trying to stay away from. I didn't want to just give the same play for every match, so I tried to be creative here in different ways that other plays that I liked as well, rather than just giving the same play over and over for every match. But I don't hate that at all, and I'm right there with you. I think, maybe this for my bet to hit and yours. I'm looking at maybe like a 3-1, 4-2. But I do think we see a ton of goals in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
you know,
hate your play at all, at all. I just think that at home they're going to push and just they need to get one. This is if their whole season comes down to it, this is the one game that they have to score one goal for their fans. Everything else is going to suck. This is the one moment that they have to make one goal happen. And
yeah,
against a
no, you
team that is it has been known to let up, they have counterattacks with the really high defensive line. It just is part of the game where they have a lot of counters against them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Barcelona at any point is very capable of conceding. And so I don't hate that at all. I do think Newcastle puts up a fight here and maybe scores a goal or two. But I just think Barcelona scores a lot more. So
Yep.
that's my angle.
Yep. All right. Let's go to the last one here. Tottenham versus Atletico Madrid. I am very excited for this. I know this might be one of the more lopsided games on the slate, but I'm very excited to watch what happens. Lead us off. What do you got for it?
Yeah, you have two chaotic teams, right? Two teams that you have no idea what to expect from on a game-to-game basis. Of course, Tottenham, everybody knows, are really struggling right now. Winless in 11 straight. That's actually their longest winless streak in almost 100 years. So you're talking about, decades and decades, nearly a century for Tottenham to be in this poor of a form. Of course, they're actually battling for relegation to stay out of the relegation zone here. It's just unthinkable to think of a team like Tottenham Hotspurs to be playing in the second division. It's just almost unthinkable. But it's a very realistic possibility right now if they don't turn things around quick. And so Tottenham, chaotic, not sure what to expect from them. And I think the same of Atletico. Now, of course, Atletico having a much better season in terms of their table and the standings. But Atletico is another team. I do not trust them one bit. I have no idea what to expect from them from game to game. One game they can, beat Barcelona 4-0, and then the next game they can lose to one of the bottom teams in La Liga 3-0. And so they're a very Jekyll and Hyde team. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. One of the more inconsistent teams in all of Europe. Now, the paper here, stats and everything should suggest that Atletico should win this one comfortably based on how poor Tottenham have been. I'm not willing to go there yet. I have no idea who wins this game, but what I do know is we're going to see goals. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 here. You're going to get that plus 100. There's no way I can pass that up. I just don't expect either team to keep a clean sheet here. I do think Tottenham can go into Madrid and get a goal. If Bodo Glint can get 2 goals in Madrid, I definitely think Tottenham can get 1. So, and I don't expect Tottenham to keep a clean sheet either on the road here. So, I think we see minimum of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, and we're getting a great price at that. Plus 100. Tottenham, they've allowed a goal in 6 straight matches as well. So they've been leaky at the back, not to mention their poor form.
Yep, and that's where I'm going to attack. I'm going to just attack Tottenham's poor form. I know that that's taking the low-hanging fruit here, not trying to make it interesting necessarily. But I think there might you know what, you should tell me, do they have any chance of prioritizing this weekend's EPL matches over this one? Because if they get relegated, I mean, that's like a whole nother level.
Yeah, the great question, right? It's a real dilemma for Tottenham. Is what do you want to go for? Wouldn't it be something if they if they make it to the Champions League final and then get relegated from the EPL, right? What a story that would be. But that's a fascinating dilemma that they're in. And honestly, it's hard to say. It's hard to say which one, which one that they'll prioritize. I would think probably realistically, do they really think they have a chance to win Champions League? Maybe not. So probably the more realistic approach would be to stay out of the relegation zone. I think long term that would be more detrimental to Tottenham, not just from a fan support wise, but also financially. Of course, when you get out of the Premier League, you lose a lot of money. So I would probably lean towards they're probably going to put more focus on the Premier League if I had to pick one, but that doesn't change my opinion here that I do think they can still score. It's just more of a fade on Atletico's defense than anything.
Yeah, and that's very fair. We saw we just saw what a 4-0 lead can lead to. Definitely agree there, but I'm just going to fade Tottenham here, thinking that they're going to be looking ahead in this match. We know that Atletico Madrid can score. They have a very powerful offense. It's really when they try to park the bus when they start having problems. So I think that they push, and I think that they get the win here. I took Atletico Madrid T total over 1.5 and the money line at -132.
Yep, I don't hate it. Yep, yeah, it's never a bad idea to fade Tottenham. So winless in 11 straight, the numbers are there.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's match day one. That's very exciting. We made it through the first day. This is going to be honestly an epic game. And just for the listeners out there, Liverpool Galatasaray is the one that's going off at 1:45 p.m. because of daylight savings time. Hits different in Europe, I guess. And then at 4 p.m. is the Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona game. So something to just keep in mind that the time change has not been even throughout.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, we were talking to Drew. He's I think he said that his time zone hasn't changed yet, so he has to like manually switch all the games. But all right, let's move on to the next day, where we get a nice 1:45 kickoff between Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen. And I gotta say, this is gonna be one of the best matches that we're gonna discuss. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I think it'll be one of the more competitive matches. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of the more entertaining matches. Arsenal have been kind of slogging their way through matches recently. They've been getting the results. They've been picking up wins, but they haven't looked exactly dominating. But where they have been dominating is defensively. They've been rock solid at the back. Teams have had a really hard time creating scoring chances against them and putting it in. So I do think we see a bit of a lower scoring game in this one. I'm not sure if we're going to be exactly thrilled with the play in this match here. I could see maybe like a 1-0, 1-1 type of score line here, but I'm going to play under 2.5 in this one, -110. This is more of a backing of Arsenal's excellent defensive form here, and also Leverkusen. They've kind of improved defensively as well over the past several weeks. They've gotten better here at the back end. So I think you might see a case here where both teams kind of played a little bit cagey. Sometimes you'll see that in first legs. I think this is one of those situations where you might see that where neither team really wants to be out of it after the first leg, and so you see some more conservative play, and then we'll see what happens in the second leg. But under 2.5 for me, -110.
Well, I hope we both cash here because I took both teams to score. I just really like Bayer Leverkusen to get through when, I mean, we've been watching Arsenal. They've been a little bit shaky lately, and it's probably due to the two injuries to Ricardo Calafiori. Fiore, sorry, I've just been reading these names, not necessarily pronouncing them out loud, and William Saliba, both who are not expected to play in this one. Bayer Leverkusen at home, they've been pretty solid offensively. Arsenal, yeah, I agree that their defensive metrics are off the charts, but I think that this gap in injuries will allow Bayer Leverkusen to score. And then if Bayer Leverkusen scores, I think you could bet your bottom dollar that Arsenal also scores. So getting BTTS at -105, I think was a really valuable line. I think that there's a lot of value on that. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised by a more open style of play by both teams, just to, once the goals start coming. But you're right. If this game starts off very cagey, and it could very well end cagey. But I like Bayer Leverkusen to get at least one goal, which means I think Arsenal also scores a goal. So near even money, I'll take the value.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Maybe we both cash out. But what I like even more is that we're on opposite sides here. I love it. Let's go. I'm all about competition, and let's see,
Hey,
let's see
look,
where this goes.
we could both cash that, but it is making me a little bit nervous, aren't you?
We'll see. We'll see. It's Champions League, so it's a lot of crazy. We've talked about this before. There's a lot of variance in Champions League, so crazy things happen. But yeah, it's just a matter of how you approach the match and what your numbers tell you, and you go with it and you see what happens. So yeah, I don't hate it though. Maybe we'll both hit here. Both teams score in under 2.5 can both cash out.
Yep. And all right, going to the next one. I hope that we both have the same play here. I have a feeling that we might. Um, Chelsea, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. They're all right. I'll give it to you. What do you got?
Yeah, I think there's no chance that we don't see goals in this one. I think
Hallelujah.
this one is gonna be a more entertaining match for sure. I think we see both teams to score. I can't see either team keeping a clean sheet. I think they just have way too much offensive firepower to be held in check here. In this one, this is actually hit in 7 of the last 9 head to head between these two sides. Has both teams to score. So if you play that alone, it's very juice. So I am actually going to parlay that with another pick here. But before I do that, let me go ahead and get your thoughts on PSG Chelsea. What do you think?
Goals, goals, goals. I have BTTS and over 2.5 goals at -115 over at MGM. Yeah. You're going to talk about PSG's last game where they lost 3-1 to Monaco in a domestic match. Over 2.5 has gone over in Chelsea's last 9 out of their 10 road fixtures. This is just too much. And PSG is scoring 2.6 goals per match when playing at home. I think we see goals, goals, and more goals.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And honestly, guys, like I said earlier, you honestly could play both teams to score over 2.5 for pretty much every game. For me, except for the Arsenal Leverkusen match, is the only one the only one I'd stay away from. But the other 7 matches, honestly, guys, like you could absolutely play that. So again, I didn't want to give that for every match, but I love it. I
All
think,
right.
yeah, I think there's a great chance for that to hit.
Okay, so Man City, Real Madrid. I'm assuming this is the game that you're going to be giving out with it. What can we expect here? Because this is also a very fascinating matchup and possibly a higher octane scoring game.
Yep, I think we can expect much of the same here in this one as well. I think this one it has the recipe for tons of goals in this one. I think both teams are coming to this one offensively in form, but defensively a little bit suspect. And so I like both teams to score in this one as well. This has hit in 14 of the last 17 head-to-head between these two sides. So safe to say here, both teams are not really capable of holding a clean sheet against each other. And you want to talk about offensive firepower. Doesn't get much better than Holland and Mbappe. So, I think both of those guys, by the way, if you're looking for goal scorers, can't go wrong with either one of them, of course. But I like both teams to score. Again, if you want to play this individually, we're getting a great price on both teams to score in over 2.5. I believe I got it I saw it about -120, -125, which I think is actually an outstanding price. But again, just for the sake of the show, I didn't want to give the same play out for every match. So instead of that, I'm just going to take both teams to score for Madrid and Man City, parlay that with both teams to score for PSG and Chelsea, and that parlay comes out to plus 128. I love getting plus money here for two things that are have been trending at a very high rate.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but I'm a little bit scared of Real Madrid. I think Mbappe, by the way, is confirmed out. Along with, let me get the full list here.
Okay, so we got Vinny
Along
Jr. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Vinny Jr. for sure, for sure. Incredible offensive talent, and he can very well score. But looking at the roster of injuries, Bellingham, Militao, Alaba, Rodrigo, Cabellas, Carreras, and again, like I said, Mbappe. I am not going to trust Real Madrid. They've been very shaky lately. Yeah, sure. I do think that they can score one. I'm going to just trust the Man City side and take the team total over 1.5 goals. I got that at -113 on FanDuel. I found this 2 weeks ago. And I know that that's not necessarily bringing to the show. The juice might have changed a little bit. I think it's maybe 130 or -140, but I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm not going to change a thing. I love this play so much. Man City has really started to turn it on as of late. And I don't think that they're the same firepower that they had a year ago or 2 years ago, but I do definitely expect them to continue having massive, massive chances And the way that Real Madrid's been playing, those massive chances can definitely get them in for at least 2 goals. But I do like Vinny to score actually here, especially that Mbappe's out. It puts a lot of value on him, and the books may not have caught up yet. So that's a good counter option, pun intended.
Yeah, no, actually, I totally agree with you. I think Man City is the side here. Actually, I mean, between the two, between Madrid and Man City, I definitely trust Man City a little bit more. Real Madrid have just been very inconsistent recently, so for sure, Man City should be able to put up a couple goals against Madrid. I do think we see a lot of goals in this one, but yeah, I like that play a lot.
Yeah, I saw that 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago when I was first looking at the games, and it just popped in, and I was like, I can't not take it. It's just I can't. It's just too good of a price the way. And it was literally the day after I think Real Madrid lost. It's like by 3 or 4 goals or something like that. I don't know. They were
Yeah,
conceding.
yeah, I
So
remember you. I remember you putting that in. Yeah, you were talking about that. Yeah, yeah, it's a great look. Honestly, it's a great
I
look.
think I literally
I'm
looked
right
at
there.
what's the next game that they're playing and who are they playing against and how can I fade them, because no matter what, Real Madrid is a such a brand name that people will be jumping on them no matter what. It's like the
That's
Yankees
abs.
or the
Yep,
Dodgers.
yep,
Just
yep.
doesn't matter
Absolutely.
what the actual reality is on the ground. Granted, all three of these teams are unbelievable for the most part. Just some temporary injury issues. All right, last game. I am very excited to get into this one. We're going to Bodo Glimt again. Lisbon Sporting is going right to play there in the cold, and I'm not going to make the same darn mistake twice.
Thank you. Finally, oh man, this is you know what this is the fun one here. This is the more this is the one with all the Cinderella storylines, and you got two teams here that whoever advances, they're gonna be not only an underdog but a Cinderella team to be in the quarterfinals of a Champions League. So it's a really great draw here for both of these sides matching up against each other. But hey. How can you fade the magic of Bodo Glimt right now? This team is just a machine, especially at home. And I love Bodo Glimt here to score 2 goals. Now, I'm not sure if they win because Sporting is a quality side, and I would say underestimate them at your own risk. Now, of course, they may not be the caliber of Inter Milan or Atletico or Barcelona or Manchester City, but they are a quality side in their own right. And so I wouldn't be very quick to fade them. But I do think Bodo can score, and they can score a couple goals here. You're going to get that at minus 105. This says hit in 12 straight matches for Bodo Glimt. They've scored 2+ in 12 straight matches. So Bodo are really hitting their stride here offensively. And not only that, but they scored 2+ against Inter Milan, Manchester City, and Atletico Madrid. So if they can score 2+ against them, I do think they can score 2 against Sporting Lisbon here at home. Like we've mentioned this before, that artificial turf, that cold Nordic air. Nobody wants to play there. Nobody wants to play on that turf. Nobody wants to play in that environment. It is a absolute home field advantage for Bodo Glimt. So much so that teams are complaining to UEFA for them to be kind of not be able to host games there because they feel that the field is not up to the conditions of Champions League. So you got big teams. Every team that goes there, they complain about the pitch and the status of the pitch, and making up every excuse they can as to their poor performance. But it seems to absolutely have an impact on everyone that goes up there. So loving Bodo Glimt here to get 2 goals. I think we're getting an awesome price here at minus 105.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Sporting has allowed a goal in all but one match in the Champions so far this year, which is surprising because they are one of the top defensive units. And when I look at my expected defensive metrics and how many shots allowed and how many high chance opportunities, they are actually above Inter this year domestically. And that's the key word here. When they go and play European squads, it doesn't translate. It just doesn't. They're conceding an average of 1.38 goals per game. So I
I think
definitely
that's
love, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I think that's more of a referendum on the Portuguese league. People don't really
Ouch.
hold the Portuguese league in very high regard. Other than it's very top heavy. Maybe you're top two, top three. Now outside of that, the rest of the teams are very mid at best. And so yeah, maybe it's easier to hold clean sheets and be defensive in a league that's not very good. But once you step outside of that league, you have to play some of the more quality teams in Europe. I think that's why we've seen Sporting conceding more goals. So, in my opinion, I think that's just more of a symbolic of just the lack of talent. I would say. Sorry, Portuguese fans, but it is what it is.
And speaking of lack of talent, they're also missing two important offensive pieces in Pedro Goncalves. If you can pronounce that, you can step right in. And
Gonzalez.
Maxi,
It's actually pronounced Gonzalez. I think is what actually it's pronounced. It's
of
spelled
course
weird,
it
but I think
is.
it's just pronounced Gonzalez. Yeah.
And starting left back Maxi Arujo, which also definitely didn't pronounce that right. But they're both suspended from yellow cards here. And again, with Sporting's defensive prowess, without these two offensive type pieces, well, one offensive piece, but another that allows them to go attack, I don't think that they're just their game plan is waited out till they get home, right? So I took, and this is terrible juice, but this is where I felt safe playing here. Bodo Glimt double chance and to score one goal, one plus goal at minus 155 over an MGM. And I know that it's not a sexy number, but by gosh, everything's telling me that Bodo Glimt's going to at least score one goal. And I don't think that Sporting is really going to be putting up that much of a fight here to kind of go out of their way to create. So they're just going to be keeping it in kind of realm. And I think that Bodo Glimt that ties the game most likely, or if not wins. My second best bet here would have been the tie no bet, but I just wanted a way to win in more scenarios. So yeah, how do you like the way I took it?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, of course, the numbers right now are probably supporting Bodo to not lose the match, right? Just because of how excellent they've been at home. My only fear to that is I just wonder when the slipper is going to fall off, right? And so I felt more
Hey,
stable.
hey, you got me on this train. Don't take me
I know.
off the train.
Just when you got on, I might be, I might be going out the back door, but I'm still with them. I'm still with them, but you just gotta wonder at some point, right? They're not really gonna go all the way to win the Champions League, are they? I mean, maybe they will. Who knows? Weird things have happened, but I know we're a ways away from that. But I just for me, I felt more safe, if you will, for them to score two goals because they are scoring goals at will, but they're also conceding. And so that's my only worry is I wonder if Sporting can also get two goals, maybe three goals, maybe win the match. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this game's going to go. I really struggle to take a side, but the numbers are supporting that Bodo should be able to score at home, and as they have been domestically and in Champions League. So I don't hate your bet. I like it. I support it. Again, it's just my instincts tell me that at some point, when does that slipper fall off? So that's my only caveat. But otherwise, other than that, I love it.
I love it. Yeah. Which one of these games, by the way, are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, so for me, it's got to be. I love watching Galatasaray. I've been very vocal about that. I just think they play such an entertaining, open brand of soccer, and so playing against a Liverpool side that at times also plays the same way, I think that one could be a very, very entertaining match. And then the other one, I gotta say, of course, Real Madrid, Man City, PSG, Chelsea. Honestly, it's hard to pick. These are such a great slate of matches. Even Bodo Sporting with the storylines there. Leverkusen and Arsenal is probably the one for me that maybe I'd stay away from the most in terms of from an entertainment standpoint. But I honestly think all these games, it's really hard to pick one. I just think we could be in for a lot of goals. Maybe the Bayern at Atalanta game might be another one that might be heavily one sided. But in the other matches, I just think they're all going to be entertaining in terms of seeing goals, and that's what everyone wants to see, right? So, yeah, I'm excited to see them all. To be honest with you, dude.
Yeah, and by the way, Michael, if you want to step in and talk to us for a little bit and tell us what game you're excited about, if you have any questions or whatnot, feel free to request and we'll bring you in. I think off the bat, I'm most excited about Man City, Real Madrid. I have become a Man City fan, maybe fair weathered, maybe not, but watching them the last few years have been really exciting and fun. And I like when a elite team kind of falls back to earth and then has to rebuild themselves up. So I've been watching that with a lot of interest, I've been betting on them kind of frequently over the last
Yeah,
few
they've been
years.
they've been your adopted team. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That has been.
Yeah, so I'm kind of rooting for them, and I think that they have Real Madrid with the hand tied behind their back, so to speak. So that's kind of the game that I'm most looking forward to. But honestly, this last one, in Bodo Glimt, I'm really, really curious. This is the one that I'm most curious about to see how they
Stern,
come out
Stern,
and
Stern.
play.
Bodo is must see TV right now.
Yeah,
Bodo
yeah.
Glimt,
It's
Bodo Glimt
electric.
matches are must see TV, especially when they're at home. It's just a spectacle. You just know that you're in for an entertaining match and you're in for goals. It's just inevitable. So yeah, maybe to answer your question, maybe that's definitively my best one. Maybe I just talked myself into it. Maybe that's the one that I'm most excited about. It might not be the sexiest matchup, but man, I think it's going to be super entertaining.
I am very, very excited for this. Yeah, these next 2 days are going to be awesome. I cannot wait. And there's not so many games that you can't just watch it on Golazo and just really kind of get the full feel for how each game is going instead of having so many games that it's hard to keep track of. So I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, that helps for sure. It can be a little overstimulating when you have 16 matches going on at the same time, and the channel switching over every 30 seconds to this game. So yeah, to your point, it makes it a little bit more palatable, right? To kind of get into the flow of each game, and yeah, look, these are the big boys. This is where the cream rises to the top, and typically, and so. We'll see. I'm really interested how this first leg goes for all these matches, and then of course we'll have the second leg coming up next week, and we'll have a better idea of who needs to do what and where teams are standing, and we saw last round where teams that were down by multiple goals, they chased the game, and that always leads for even more entertaining matches. So I just think both of these legs for almost all of these fixtures are just going to be super entertaining. This is going to be one of the more fun round of 16s in Champions League.
Yep, and yep. All right, let's recap our best bets. Should I go first? And then
Yeah, go for it.
you can close us off.
Sure.
All righty. All right. We're going to start with Tuesday. Liverpool, Galatasaray. I like the first half under 1.5 goals at -145 over on Caesars. Bayern Munich, Atalanta. I like Bayern Munich team total over 1.5 and to win. Money line -125. Newcastle, Barcelona. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at -150. I know some of this juice is rough. Atletico Madrid team total over 1.5 and money line against Tottenham. Let's continue. Let's just hope they play. They play. Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen going on to Wednesday. Both teams to score -105. Chelsea, PSG, both teams to score in over 2.5 goals. Man City, Real Madrid. I like Man City to score 2+ goals, -113. And then again, our most exciting matchup of the days, probably Lisbon Sporting, Bodo Glimt. I like Bodo Glimt double chance and to score at -155 over an MGM.
Awesome, love it. And then for me, I've got Galatasaray, Liverpool. Both teams to score, no draw at +100. I've also got Bayern Munich on a -1 spread against Atalanta. You're going to get that at -105. I have also got Atletico Madrid and Tottenham. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at +100. I also like Barcelona here, not just on the money line, but on a -1 spread against Newcastle. You're going to get that at a whopping +229. Then I also like Leverkusen and Arsenal, a defensive match. And this one I like under 2.5 goals here, -110. I like Real Madrid, Manchester City, both teams to score, parlayed with PSG and Chelsea. Both teams to score. You're going to get that parlay at +128. And then finally, for me, I like Bodo Glimt here at home to score over 1.5 goals against Sporting Lisbon. And you're going to get that at a great price here at -105. Before I close it out, Stern, any final thoughts for the listeners out there before I shut everything up?
No, just make sure you get a second screen somewhere so that you can watch it while you work.
Well said. Yes, very important. Maybe even a third screen if you can. So, gonna be worth it, guys. And thanks for tuning in as always. This has been the Only Bet Sports Betting Podcast, Champions League Round of 16, Leg 1 preview show. For my co-host Stern Betts, I am Prince of Picks. We hope to have a Europa League show and maybe a Conference League show as well. We'll talk about that, see if we can do that. We got those matches taking place on Thursday. So TBD on that. Stay tuned. But until next time, we appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.